Hi there, I'm Gregg with Sonnax, and today we're going to be talking about GM 6L80 6L90 456 clutch options. Now here at Sonnax we have a few different kits and components in the 456 shafts, and if you're not really sure which combination of parts to use for your build, well then this video is for you. So the 6L80s are hugely popular in all manner of rear-wheel drive applications, from heavy-duty overloaded commercial trucks and vans to all-out race cars. But the one thing they all have in common is durability issues with the 456 clutch. So here at Sonnax we have basically 3 different levels of clutch pack capacity to meet the different needs of these applications. So to start with, we have our heavy-duty piston kit. And this uses a improved apply and backing plates, but otherwise the 456 clutch stack-up is completely stock. And it uses the original wave plate. And this would be for OE applications. If you're concerned with the 456 hub shaft durability, we also have our heavy-duty 456 hub shaft. And it has the unique characteristic of keeping the OE dampener in here, so you have all your factory original shift characteristics. And it also includes some special modifications to the lubrication circuit to improve the oil flow to the 456 clutches to keep them running cooler. That also greatly improves the 456 clutch durability. The next step up from that is going to be our high capacity piston kit. It also works with the OE style clutches, but it eliminates the wave plate, so you can add 1 additional friction for 16% more capacity. Now this setup would be used for lightly modified vehicles that might have a tune or a few bolt-ons, and it also works with a stock style heavy duty 456 hub shaft. Now the next level up from that, it has the most capacity for the most extreme applications, is going to be our high capacity piston kit with a wider apply area. Now that wider apply area works with Power Glide style clutches that have a smaller inner diameter. You also get the additional clutch count, but due to the wider clutches and wider steels, there's a lot more steel mass and surface area to deal with all the energy from the shift and to dissipate the heat. Now that smaller inner diameter frictions require a smaller diameter hub, so that's a special extreme duty 456 shaft. This also includes the improvements to the lubrication of the 456 clutches, but of course it does not run the dampener. And of course, with any of these 6L80, 6L90s that are running in a modified type application, getting a good tune in there is an absolute must for durability. So don't forget that, and make sure you have a really reliable source to do the tuning. So that's the overview of the 3 different levels of performance that we offer in the 456 clutches. And now we're going to dig a little deeper into the parts themselves. So with the 3 Sonnax 456 piston kits, there's a few things they all have in common. And number 1 is the backing plate. So compared to the powdered metal OE plate, the Sonnax kits all have a thicker and stiffer backing plate, and this helps reduce the flex through the clutch pack and improves the overall 456 clutch durability. And all 3 kits have one of those backing plates. And then they all have the same piston and dam in all 3 kits. And the difference on the piston and dam compared to the OE is the OE has this knife edge apply area that pushes up onto the clutch pack, which really kind of concentrates the forces on the lower clutches and concentrates the heat buildup and reduces durability. And we replace that with this wider apply surface. Now to get that, we take an OE piston and we machine it down just enough to get that on there, and it ends up being exactly the same height as the OE piston. And that's what allows us to run a completely stock clutch pack with this heavy duty kit. Now to make room for the apply plate, the dam is also an OE dam that we reformed to be about a 1/2 millimeter lower, so it doesn't interfere with clutch clearance or anything like that. Now the next level up from that is the high capacity kit, and that has a toothed apply plate, and it's this toothed apply plate that allows us to eliminate the OE wave plate on the bottom of the clutch pack and add 1 additional friction to run right on this surface. That in a 6L80, that'll increase your clutch capacity by about 16%. And then for all-out performance, the maximum durability, we have our high capacity kit with a wider clutch apply surface and a wider clutch. So here's an example of the Power Glide style clutches that are used in this kit compared to the OE. And you can see a significant difference in the thickness of the clutch surface area. And that extra width in these clutches really improves the ability of the shift energy to be dissipated into the steels to help the clutches to run cooler and improve 456 clutch durability, especially in big power applications. Now, to get the clutch clearances set right and also to run with this kit, you need special wider steels. So we have high quality lindered steels in two different thicknesses, 79 thousandths thick and 90 thousandths thick. And that gives you a lot of options when you're setting up the clutch clearance, whether it's a 6L80 or a 6L90, and you don't have to make any compromises on clutch clearance. You can get it set right where you want it. So, regardless of your power level from OE, heavy-duty commercial type vehicles to lightly modified to extreme racing, Sonnax has the clutch kit for you, and they all can be used in 6L80s and 6L90s. So now, onto the 456 hub shafts. The 456 hub shaft does play a role in the 456 clutch durability, and we'll get more into that in a minute. But right now, I want to talk about the shafts and all the different types of problems they can have, regardless of the power level or the type of vehicle. Now, if you do get a little too much torque or bind up, the splines can twist and fail, and this one snapped the spline right off the end. This one snapped at the other end. But more concerning is fatigue failure over time, and these have no signs of spline twist, but this one broke right at the weld between the shaft and the hub where it's a two-piece design. And that broke there and obviously stopped moving. And then this one's really freaky because the hub itself broke. So the weld is good, the shaft is good, but the hub broke in two pieces. So the OE has tried to make improvements by changing the shaft material and the heat treat. Sometimes you'll notice they have a different color to them and different part numbers, but it continues to be a widespread problem, and it's almost as if these things have a limited lifespan where fatigue is getting to them and causing the welds to break and the hubs to break. So regardless if you have a heavy-duty application or a performance application, there is a better option, and that's the Sonnax heavy-duty and extreme shafts. So in addition to the shafts breaking, we've seen how much of a failure point there can be between the shaft and the hub with OE design, with the welds breaking and the hubs breaking. So when we came out with our 300M design, we did a one-piece forging in order to make this. Now, it takes a lot of time and expense to create these forgings, but this is nothing new to us. We've been doing this on our diesel input shafts for years, and they're the state-of-the-art #1 diesel shafts out there. It's been a proven process, it works great, and the nice thing is it completely eliminates that weld connection between the shaft and the hub and makes for a much, much stronger overall shaft. And then, most importantly, we've changed the back of the hub here and added a little lip and these holes that allow the oil from the front of the transmission to get inside the hub and help lubricate the clutches. Now, the 456 clutches are released in first gear, second gear, and third gear. So if you can imagine either a commercial vehicle or especially a performance application, pulling away from a stoplight, revving out in first gear, second gear, third gear, all that time these clutches are slipping against each other, and that can put a lot of heat into the clutches that undermines their durability. And the OE has gone to great lengths with the design of the damper system and the bearings to guide the oil from the rear into the hub area to lubricate those clutches. And if you look closely at the lube pass, it's all very specific and by intention to get that oil there. Now, what we've been able to do is bring the oil from the other side, from the front, that would normally just spray off and be wasted. We're able to guide that into that area and effectively double the oil flow to the 456 clutches to increase the lubrication and the cooling capacity to keep those clutches cool. And if we keep them cool, they don't burn. So keep in mind, there are other aftermarket 456 shafts out there, but they have a hub design that actually reduces oil flow to the 456 clutches, which undermines their durability, and that can be a real problem. So with the 6L80 and the 6L90, the shafts are similar. The 6L80 is shorter shaft, shorter hub. The 6L90 is longer shaft, longer hub. And then we have the heavy duty that keeps the dampener for both the 6L80 and 6L90, and then the extreme duty that has the wider Power Glide style clutches in both the 6L80 and 6L90. So we have 4 part numbers that cover all the applications. So if you have any questions about these parts, the clutch piston kits, or any of our other 6L80, 6L90 upgrades, check out our website at sonnax.com. We've got a lot of information there. And if you have any additional questions, just reach out to our tech support. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for your time today.